Okay, so we were just talking because of the Dachau,
Huh.
and you said that they were you guys were expecting a very big fight.
The United States, yeah, the only time I got a flamethrower was for there, and we never used it.
When that was Augsburg, right? Or when you were going into Augsburg, or no?
Augsburg, yeah.
And then that's kind of close to Dachau, and you said that like when they.
Dachau was in Augsburg.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're right next to. Yep, they're right next to each other. So, but you said that. Okay, then you were talking about how the underground told you guys which.
They guided us how we would go. They said take this route, and Colonel. We became good friends, but anyway, he.
That they told you which posts were going to be like SS?
Everything in it is going to be regular army, and if you don't shoot at them, they won't shoot at you. And that's the only one that's a problem. There's one outpost that was manned by the SS, and he described.
And then you said that kind of you went nice and easy and right down to where you were at the hotel where the Corps was?
Yeah. Anyway, that's through Augsburg. Augsburg was a big city. It's sort of sprawled out. It's not old, but anyway, I remember at about 10 o'clock one night.
Well, I want to ask you a question first. You said that when you guys went into the headquarters for the Germans, that it was breakfast time.
That's right.
And they had cooked all the meal.
Well, let me get through a little bit more.
Okay.
They told us that we had to be careful because that one outpost was manned by the SS.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, they described where this outpost was. They had 3 boxcars that were loaded with hay or straw.
Uh-huh.
And when we would come, they'd be lighting those off. And so I lit up the whole area. And we came up. I had one tank that was old, but we could call it the Frog because it's camouflaged like a frog.
Uh-huh.
And so we had to turn his turret to the rear so he wouldn't damage the gun. He hit between 2 of the boxcars and split them apart and went on across. Then German SS running across, they put out telephone lines to try to get us that way. But the bridges were all lit up by those fire, so they could see them and they zigzagged around. We didn't hit any of them.
Uh-huh.
And we went on down to this hotel, which is the head of the German Corps, and took over their breakfast, drank their booze. And
So
when they got through the end of the day, the 3rd Division figured, I don't know, a bunch of drunken officers. So he put us in reserve for a day. And then the next big mistake they made was they let us go over to see Dachau. And that was just horrible. I thought the second day, it was like throwing corn around and had the boxcars that were thrown. You did stiff, dead execution people in there.
yeah.
And anyway, we went down and had that good food.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3rd Division they didn't want a lot of drunken officers in attacks that put us in reserve. And the next mistake was we found out that was it Dachau had been taken over.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't tell me about it, but the other officers went over to see Dachau, and they saw Dachau. They put him in reserve again, and had to counsel him because That was horrible. That was a horrible time.
So they actually took those guys and put them in reserve and did like
But
counseling?
Yeah, he counseled them so they didn't
Because otherwise they would be,
killing people that shouldn't.
yeah, because they'd be so angry
Yeah,
and distraught with all of that.
yeah. Anyway, we had some more booze.
Well, you guys had just come through some pretty hard fighting
Oh, yeah.
because
Oh,
that
yeah.
was after
Yeah.
Colmar, right? That was after
Yeah.
the Colmar
Oh, yeah.
pocket.
That was near the war, near the end of the war, about 3 days or so.
You know what always bothers me is like when I read in high school, you know, the All Quiet on the Western Front
Mhm.
about World War I. And I think you go through the whole book, and at the very end, it's like the war has ended, and the person that you've kind of followed through everything gets killed, and the war is actually already over.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
so even if it was at the end of the war, you
Well,
weren't out of it yet.
Communications weren't as good either.
Yeah, yep.
But I was with the third battalion, 15th head commander. I'm trying to think. We turned out to be a good friend. He organized this little task force.
Uh-huh.
And he called me because he didn't want. He was going to be violating the military protocol. So he says, I'll either be a hero, dead, or a prisoner of war. And my platoon was with him. They wanted to go the worst way. And so they started off. He had 3 tanks and 3 jeeps full of soldiers.
Uh-huh.
And he was leading them. And of course, when they came up to this first outpost, they had the tracks. These box cars are on that full of hay,
Uh-huh.
and we turned this one tank we called the Frog. It was an old tank. It was camouflage, painted like a frog.
Mm-hmm.
They took and turned that turret to the rear and busted through between 2 of the box cars. And of course the flame lit up the bridges, so the teller mines that were set out for us,
Uh-huh.
we just zigzagged around them and went down the streets in Augsburg, and the German regular army was watching guard. They'd be marching with their rifle on their shoulder, and in the other hand they'd be waving at us, and we'd be waving back. Went on down, got down to the Hood headquarters, and as it was about breakfast time. So we ate their breakfast, we drank their booze, and some of the officers got pretty well looped up.
Yeah.
And the 3rd Division put them in reserve again so they could sober up. They didn't want a bunch of drunken soldiers making an attack. And so while they're on that day, we found out the Augsburg had been taken. Augsburg,
Dachau?
Dachau had been taken. And some of the officers, well, they didn't tell me, but the rest of them that went over to Dachau and saw the horror. It was horrible. I saw it the second day, and it was still. They were throwing these dead prisoners. They were stiff, you know,
From being-
for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And they'd have a boxcar open and flip them in like you throw cord wood into them.
Oh, wow.
And
So what did you see? You saw them, like, when you were at Dachau, then you saw them having to move those dead bodies?
yeah, they were still.
They were
They
just,
let him go ahead. You're going to have to do that anyway.
yeah, yeah. What else did you?
But I saw him the next day, and the guys are still wandering around. There's one guy who's about maybe a couple inches taller than I was. He was dressed in black and white striped uniform or clothes,
Yeah.
and he was in a quandary. He was wandering around.
They'd probably be like in shock almost.
Oh yes, they were shocked. Yeah.
And weak. Those are such terrible atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Coming up to that, the battalion commander of the 3rd Battalion, the 15th, was in contact with the underground.
I'm going to turn this off for a second.